Before we begin the review, I have a quick story. So many of you know that my wife and I sell her artwork at conventions for a living. We actually make most of our money through that and not through YouTube. Please subscribe. Click, click, click. Thank you. Also hit like. Last weekend, however, we had to split up and go to different shows. She went to Grand Rapids and got to meet Ezio, and I went to UBCon in Buffalo, New York. My dad actually went with me, and this is his first time at an anime convention. And none of you know this, but he's an extremely introverted programmer. He doesn't know anything about video games or modern nerd culture. And during the convention, he managed to sell all 3 of our Sonic pillows in one transaction. And evidently, he was super duper proud of it because every few hours he would come up to me and remind me that he managed to sell all the hedgehogs as a set. Does it have anything to do with my review? No, but it was a cute story. And if you're trying to figure out what sort of comment you should leave for the algorithm, just say something like, "Good job, Dad," or something like that. Also, yes, Silver the Hedgehog is on one of those pillows. Yes, I know who Silver the Hedgehog is. God, you guys got really mad that I did not know in the review. Woo! So yeah, in my Knuckles video, people didn't like that I kind of shat on Silver. Pay attention to the next upcoming alignment video. I think I'll make it up to you. Anyway, howdy friendos, my name is Stuart, and yeah, as you can see by the title and thumbnail, I really liked Sonic 2, and according to the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm guessing most of you did too. YouTube reviews of movies are kind of useless because almost no one watches a review anymore, at least from YouTube, without seeing a movie first, and most people really just want to know if their favorite YouTuber shares the same opinion on a thing. So I'm going to make things simple real quick. I'm separating this video into 3 different parts. First, we're doing spoiler-free thoughts. I'm just giving a quick free-flow thought of my rough, no-spoiler ideas. That's going to be the first section. And then the second section is going to be the positive direction, why I wrote this whole freaking essay in the first place. And 3, just pure fun speculation for Sonic 3. So I'll try to put in time codes in the description, but this is a busy week for the entire team. So if I forget to do so, if someone in the comments wouldn't mind putting in the time codes on when they start, I'll pin that so that you get credit for that. So thanks in advance. Anyway, my spoiler-free thoughts. This movie was really fun. It's pretty much exactly what this movie should be. Sonic 2 is nearly as perfect as a sequel as it should be. The first Sonic movie was definitely a kid's film, and the acting was on par with, like, live-action George of the Jungle or Dudley Do-Right, and that does make its return here. The standouts of this particular film are, of course, Jim Carrey and Idris Elba. And Jim returns as Robotnik and is absolutely unhinged and even more threatening than last time, and it's exactly what a Jim Carrey Robotnik should be. I also knew Idris would make a good Knuckles because, well, he's just a good actor, but I had no idea he would be a great Knuckles. In terms of capturing the spirit of a noble but naive warrior, Idris brings out all of the dignity and comedy to the character that he deserves. Absolutely choice casting, and probably my favorite Knuckles so far. I do like the Sonic Boom Knuckles, but I think that's just because I like the comedy Knuckles. Idris was excellent. And oh yeah, by the way, I know Anthony would be absolutely furious if I did not mention that Colleen O'Shaughnessy playing Tails was just a great move for voice actors everywhere. Still good spot-on casting, shows a lot of respect. I appreciate that immensely. And the best thing about this movie was the focus on the animal friends. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Eggman are the main focus of this movie. The other human side characters are sidelined pretty hard for most of the film. But they are utilized pretty well in the end game, and I do want to comment on how smart the humans were utilized this time. There's a twist in the middle of the movie that made both Alex and I pop off really hard. Like, the twist will be just kind of fun for most movie-going audiences, but to Sonic fans that appreciate the lore drops, it is actually kind of brilliant what they did, and it's an attention to detail that I really appreciate. And if you saw the movie and if you're familiar with Sonic lore even a little bit, you probably had a similar reaction, or at the very least it stuck out to you. Again, there are reasons why you see no spoiler warnings everywhere on Twitter, and the twist that I'm talking about sets up so many things, and it's so subtle and smart that I say you should probably go see the movie just for what they did with the human characters in this, at least if you're a lore nut. They are still, without a doubt, the weakest part of the film, and we all want to see Sonic do video game stuff, and we do get that in this movie, but you're going to get about 15 minutes of uninterrupted human drama, and it's all right. They did really well, and they were really funny for the most part. And I should also mention, this movie is really funny. They hit you with a lot of strong jokes. There are some weaker ones, but there are times I was making a fool out of myself in the theater that was full of children because they kept just knocking them out of the park, and I'm just dying on the floor. So yeah, if you like the first movie, go see this. It's way better. If you skip the first movie but still like Sonic the Hedgehog, also go see it. This is probably the best video game movie ever, aside from maybe Detective Pikachu. If you're a parent and not a nerd, you won't hate this, but you might be a little confused. The lore is surprisingly dense in this film, if you aren't familiar with Sonic. But there's still a lot of good here. It's pretty easy to follow along, and if you want me to give a quantitative X out of 10, I'd say this movie is a 13 out of 20, if you're using my particular measurements. It's an above average kids film, but if you're a Sonic fan, it's like 19 out of 20. This is the movie we've been asking for a very long time. And yeah, that's the end of the spoiler-free stuff. And if that's all you're here for, and if you wanted a recommendation, yeah, I really liked it. I took my wife and my daughter to see the movie, and both of them are Sonic fans, and they really liked it. I'm a very casual Sonic fan, but I still had a ton of fun. I really liked it. But yeah, from this point forward, I'm going to assume that you've seen the film or you do not care about spoilers, and we're going to be putting our thinking caps on, and I'm just going to gush about why I think Sonic 2 is an excellent trend for movies going forward. So, you have been warned. 3, 2, 1. Holy shit, Shadow and Gun are in this movie. So Sonic 1 as a film was honestly just okay. When we first saw the trailers and Sonic was going to be this ugly blue human-esque alien, we were like, God damn it, not again. But then the movie got delayed, the studio got its act together and made Sonic look fun and adorable, and we as fans appreciated it so much, and we forgave it and gave it the benefit of the doubt that it was just okay. I know a lot of people like it, but let's just admit that a lot of that love was riding on good faith that the studio earned back when they removed ugly Sonic. Because movie 1 is weird, guys. We open the film with Longclaw, a character that was designed for the film exclusively and looks nothing like Sonic or the rest of the Echidna in her movie. Her art direction is very realistic compared to theirs. She is just out of place. And then we get to Earth, and it's a 90s buddy cop movie that just is okay. The humans are just there, and it's not the reason we bought the ticket, and most Sonic fans were annoyed that we're brought back on Earth. But the movie was profitable, and again, fans were relatively happy that we got a decent Sonic movie, and most of the kind reception was because Paramount went back and listened to the fans enough to redesign Sonic. This is really important, the fact that the studio is listening to fans. And then Sonic 2 happened, and I'm seriously just sitting here debating if this wasn't some 4D chess maneuver the entire time. There are like 3 to 4 very heavy lore drops in this movie that make me believe that the filmmakers are either brilliant or just extremely good long planners. A lot of people are saying that this movie is a mess, but that's really not true. This movie was carefully and purposely designed, and I think at this rate, if each movie keeps building on itself, it has a chance of being MCU levels of, well, not success, but at least competence. I mentioned earlier that the smartest thing Sonic 2 did was the human-focused twist in Act 2. If you haven't seen the movie, the humans... Tom's sister-in-law was getting married, and it turned out to be a sting operation orchestrated by Commander Walters, the Olive Garden soldier guy from movie 1. The sting operation was revealed to have been done by Gun, the military force that was introduced in Sonic Adventure 2. And holy shit, is that such a big brain play, and it forever changes the storylines from this point going forward. It's clear to anyone watching these movies now that we're going to be focusing our stories and lore on the adventure games. When you're planning a Sonic project, you tend to either have to focus on game lore ideas or comic lore ideas, and it's clear to anyone watching and paying attention that Sonic movies, going forward will be focused on the adventure series. The final battle of Sonic 2 actually had pretty strong Sonic Hero vibes. I almost expected to hear the Sonic Heroes going on in the background. So earlier on this script, I wrote like 7 or 8 paragraphs explaining the difference between game and comic lore. And believe me when I say you really don't want to see it. But the long and short of it is, bringing Sonic to Earth actually gives Paramount the opportunity to adapt and create storylines around the main modern Sonic games. And thanks to that, they won't get bogged down by the complex legal landmine of the comics. Even though that one guy on Twitter is considering suing the movie for having a character that didn't appear in the movie. God, whatever. Anyway, putting Sonic on Earth opens up the Shadow storyline. And the Shadow storyline cannot exist without Earth and the humans, because Shadow is by far one of the most popular characters in the Sonic canon. And even Eggman says this himself in Sonic Boom. So both audiences and the studio wanted to get to the Shadow storylines as fast as possible. And here's how big of a news this actually is. I went to go see this movie at noon on a Monday in Nowheresville, Ohio, and only 3 other families were in the theater at the time, and all of us popped off at the reveal of Project Shadow. Shadow is so popular that it will just absolutely make movie 3 a success without even trying. Literally, all they have to do in the next trailer is put a spinning Chaos Emerald on screen, have a hand reach out, snatch it, and have Shadow say Chaos Control. Bam! Instant $100 million. And they will get endless free promotion. And Matt Pat will drop 3 videos, one on film theory about the movie predictions, one on game theory guessing how fast Shadow is, and one on food theory talking about if it's possible to live on an all chili dog diet or something. I don't know. Sonic 3 is going to break the internet, especially since this image practically did it just by itself, and the Knuckles-Sonic rivalry hasn't been a thing in years, decades even. I know it just sounds like I'm gushing about the inclusion of Shadow, but I really do want to give praise to the original characters in this movie as well. A lot of times we see a studio just kind of casually kill off or dismiss less popular characters from earlier films, and they'll be like, haha, don't worry, we hated this too. Like Spider-Verse mocked Emo Peter, Frozen 2 mocked the Let It Go and its lore cave, and I don't know, I'm just kind of really sick of this, and it was actually really refreshing when Avengers Endgame acknowledged how important Thor 2 was for Thor. I understand why studios do this. They want to give the impression that they're listening to their audience, but, it was important to acknowledge them. Sonic 2 spent a lot of time talking about Longclaw and her relationship with Sonic as a caregiver and her importance to the movie lore. The movie lore is important here, and we do need to acknowledge that. Not only that, incorporating the owls into the story explains the owl-like architecture from the early games, and it's downright inspired that the movie from Paramount explored the owls and nothing else ever did. I don't recall a lot of movie original characters that get this kind of love and respect. It shows confidence in Paramount's OCs and their willingness to believe in their own writing. It was a big power play. Also, just Agent Stone, Robotnik's buddy, is in quite a bit of the marketing, and so are the other human characters. And the final resolution to Sonic's emotional family-based story arc did focus on his relationship with Tom and his wife. I just really admire it when a movie can respect both its own original material while respecting, the source material that it came from. Stone was so beloved by audiences, he's actually getting fan art now. And that's really cool. In terms of being a trend for Hollywood movies, I'd say Sonic 2 is an excellent place that it's going, and I really hope we get more things like this. There's a respect in Sonic 2 that's palpable, from the marketing to the writing and even the casting. They're taking Sonic very seriously and putting a lot of effort into making their core fan base happy. Say what you want about the Star Wars sequels, but Star Wars practically died because their leadership just kind of took it for granted and it just didn't work. There's so many franchises where they're not taking their source material seriously and they're just running it into the ground and they're just killing their own things because, again, they're not focusing on what made that material great. One of the reasons that the MCU works so well is not only are the creators having fun with it, but because they're showing what exactly makes superhero stories so much fun. They started relatively grounded with Iron Man, but now we have this incredibly emotional story about a spider kid who had to use literal magic to make the multiverse forget he existed. Out of context, that sounds ridiculous, but everyone who watched the film knows that that was a really powerful moment, and it's absolutely gut-wrenching to watch. So, like, can you imagine how smug Sonic fans will be if somehow a Peter Dinklage-sized rodent makes general audiences cry over the fact that his human girlfriend died getting shot by special ops in deep space? God, wouldn't it be great if we could finally share why we like Sonic so much by just showing off the cool Sonic stories and not trying to make, like, Sonic dab while being voiced by Star-Lord? You know, it's just really refreshing to see a studio actually love its source material, and god damn it, I will praise it till the end. Like, I'm gonna die on this green hill because I absolutely love these movies. So, anyway, that's really the big thing. It really comes down to, I appreciate that they're taking Sonic seriously. They're doing their best to make us appreciate the source material. They're adding their own lore that's very interesting. And it also adds to the material that we've already gotten. And it's just a high quality, good Sonic movie. It doesn't need to be an amazing movie. It just needs to be a good Sonic movie. That's all we care about. Just respect our fandom, don't make fun of us, and just make a good film. So anyway, pure fun speculation time. Consider this the film theory section of my video. I'm going to guess some plot points and Easter eggs that we're going to see in Sonic 3, and consider this my calling it now moment. So Anthony, if you would please. First off, I think Robotnik is dead. I don't think Paramount will be willing to amass the literal truckloads of money it will take to get Jim Carrey back into a main acting role, but I do think they will be able to pay him for some voiceover work, though. I'm pretty sure there's like a backup Eggman on his computers or something that will guide Stone throughout his story. Maybe he'll get possessed by Eggman's ghost or his AI or something. I don't think we'll see Jim Carrey in person, but I do think we'll get his voice. 2, I think we're going to see Chaos in the next movie. If you don't know who that is, that's the water blob thing from Adventure 1. And this is the god or whatever that powers the Chaos Emeralds, and I think it's the deity that the Echidnas worship and the owls were trying to lock away. I don't know. I do think we're going to see Chaos. And I kind of hope, 3, that we'll see more owls, because I think the way the story is going is that the Chaos Emeralds were either created or utilized by the Echidna, and the Master Emerald was created by the owls to trap them or something. I don't know. The Emeralds don't make a ton of sense in this movie. Maybe I'll go watch it 2 or 3 more times in a bit. It's not really clear what they are. 4, Gerald Robotnik will be played by J.K. Simmons. I'm just calling that now. That guy has a monopoly on dignified old men. And I have no idea who's going to play Maria Robotnik. 5, Shadow will say the following words, in order: Faker, that blue hedgehog again, and damn Chaos Emerald. Those 3 things are going to be said by Shadow in the next movie. They're allowed to swear. They're going to make Shadow swear. 6, Shadow will not be made by black alien DNA. I think he'll be created by Chaos DNA, since, like, the Master Emerald was stored on Earth or something. I think they're going to connect Shadow to the Chaos Emeralds in some way, possibly Chaos himself. 7, Shadow will probably die in the next movie, or at the least people will think he dies, and Sonic will say sayonara at some point, because god damn it, that is one of his emotional cores, and you gotta have it. 8, Live and Learn is going to be playing somewhere in this movie. You cannot get away with not putting Live and Learn somewhere in this. 9, I think we're also going to get a City Escape reference, and 10, Super Shadow is absolutely going to happen. But that's probably the coldest take in all of these predictions. And yeah, thanks for sticking around. I really like Sonic 2, and I hope Sonic 3 is just as good. I do trust that the filmmakers are going to be doing their best, but they haven't quite gotten my trust that the movies will all be good. Sonic 1 still wasn't great. It was just passable, but hey, that's just my opinion, and I realize that not everyone agrees with me. In fact, go ahead in the comments, either rate my predictions, tell me what you thought of Sonic 2. I don't know. I love Sonic discussion. Just go nuts in the comments. And tune in for Saturday, because I'm going to try to get you the silver video in a good amount of time. So thank you to the patrons, and I'll see you next time.